Hello, everyone, and thank you for listening. I did another show with a session with Jimi, and before we really get into it, I need to give you a little bit of the backstory regarding what happened before we did this session. Jimi was in an accident. He was very, very fortunate. It was one of those things where someone kind of distracted him and pulled him over during a time when, like in a parking lot in a grocery store, which shouldn't be an issue, but for some reason, someone was driving very fast and he was hit. And I'm grateful that he's okay. I was concerned he didn't break anything, but was kind of bedridden for a little while. And we really had to send some prayers and everything for him to get over this. But I thought, well, once he got well enough that we can kind of figure out and locate what's going on. And so in the beginning of our discussion, I'm kind of happy to see that he's doing better. And also that I heard from Rodan that, they wanted to take out his light and pretty much destroy him to some degree, even kind of just obliterate his soul energy and identity and so forth. So I could see that there was, some kind of nefarious energy there that we needed to clear. And as usual, nothing is very straightforward. It usually comes out that it's an entangled web that we do weave, and through a quantum entanglement and the multiple different experiences in our past lives and a present timeline, and of course then the multiple intersecting of timelines that are happening now. So it's a conglomeration of so many different things. And so now, in order for me to follow this, I have to follow what I call my thread. And it's the thread of understanding of how certain things are connected and what he needs to release from. In this journey, we cover the movie The Seventh Seal, which is with Max von Sydow and his chess game with the devil, or death, and seeing this kind of elite kind of game that we seem to be playing with entities that want to control our planet. And so we have discussions about that, as well as I started off by talking somewhat about Hulu, which is a service that allows people to watch programming online. And I couldn't figure out why he had a problem with Hulu. And then there was an ad that someone brought up to me, and it's an ad that we're going to share, and you can listen to it, a promoting of Hulu and how it's attacking the mind, how it is trying to turn the mind into mush. And so that's with an Alec Baldwin advertisement that he did for Hulu, which was extremely revealing. I mean, they didn't hide much of what they were doing, but I forgot about it. I had seen it years ago, and it was extremely applicable. After I did the session, I went back and looked at it, and I guess, in a sense, this is a spoiler. I'm telling you a little bit what's going on before you go in and listen. The word that came up is virulent, like a virus, but it's, a poison of the mind that we were looking at. And that, here again, it goes back to this Hulu ad, and also in an alternate reality that we were looking at, as well as this kind of octopus looking thing that comes out of Alec Baldwin's jacket while he's talking, saying that they're ETs and that they're here and doing this stuff. Now, as I said, this is like, days after, maybe a week after that we did this. And that's then when I started to put it all together, and after looking at that advertisement, it made sense of what I was looking at. The word Hydra also came up, which is also like the octopus symbol. I think it's in the James Bond movies. And that is a corporation. That really is a corporation. We haven't, I think we kind of slightly touched on it with Peter, but haven't gone into much depth. There's also somehow there was a strawberry that we mentioned, the movie The Strawberry something. I think Ingmar Bergman put together a movie. I was looking at some of his other movies, and then it linked me to the Beatles. And then from looking at the Beatles, then I was looking at this fake alternate reality of the Beatles, and also which also takes place out on the West Coast. And so it all kind of goes full circle to this one location we identify where the negative energy is coming in, attacking not only Jimi, but some other people. And I just want to add something. I think it was within 1 week, I had multiple friends get hit very hard, like seriously hit, ended up in the hospital. And some friends had their loved ones end up in needing to go into like a psych ward. Some very, very strange, awful energy that was projected all at the same time. And it really had me very, very concerned. And I hope more people will send healing and also do the disentanglements along with Jimi as you go through and listen to the show. Because whatever came at us really didn't mean to just slightly harm us, but to really cause some serious damage and to really harm families and other things, as people that didn't have problems before had problems. It all pretty much happened around the same time. So without further delay, why don't you go ahead and listen in. And thank you so much for, being patient and listening through everything, but also be a participant and allow yourself to be released and freed from these other realities that have been imposing their will upon us. Remember, sovereignty is key, and let's hold on to that, the highest intention for humanity. Oh yes, and one other quick note. After we did this session with Jimi, there was a Beatles something in the news regarding a song featuring George Harrison and Ringo Starr that was just recently found. And I thought the timing was pretty amazing. Mr. Joshi, I guess, said that the song itself revolves around the concept that we are all one, and was still relevant. So the song Radhe Shyam was written and produced by broadcaster Suresh Joshi in 1968 and features Ringo Starr on drums and George Harrison on the guitar. And it was unearthed at the 75-year-old Birmingham home by a friend who was checking on him during the lockdown. The track was played to 100 people at Liverpool Beatles Museum earlier. So this article just came out right after we did the session. So, all right, this time I mean it. We're going into the session. Thank you for listening. You look like yourself again.
I do?
Yeah, that's good. Rodian told me that they try to put out your light.
Oh, fuck.
They tried to take you out for good.
That's what that was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what, did he say who it was that was doing this specifically? Is there an identity, or is it a group, or?
Let me. Yeah, they really try to take you out.
These fuckers.
I know. I guess they said this was the hardest. He said to me, this is the hardest battle I've had. And it's from this system, but it's not. I'm trying to find out where this system is coming from. It's definitely not of this world.
So he's saying this is one of the hardest battles he's had
that we have had on a personal level.
Oh.
Because there was, the battle between the angels You know, those that had chosen a different path, right?
Uh-huh.
So this is something different. Let me see what this is from another world, another system. And we've been easily able to just protect the planet before, but not this time. I asked, is it because that they were cyborg and everything or robotic? And he said, no, that's not it. We've dealt with those before.
So they tried to take me out of the body. Not
They tried to
exactly.
literally knock out your soul so it doesn't exist. They want to put out your light.
The fuck, man? How do you do that?
That means they're pretty powerful.
I mean, I have a soul that is immortal, don't I? I mean, it's not going to be put out.
But you're an angel, and they obviously, well, maybe it's from that group from, that Lou was talking about that doesn't think that we should be here anymore.
Mm.
Do you
Well, I
want to
mean,
break ties with that whole system that he's trying to bring in?
well, I'd like to break all vows, contracts, agreements with this group that tried to put out my light.
Someone that's behind the group Hulu that does Hulu.
Uh-huh.
Let me see if I can find the owners of Hulu or
I'm not sure what that is. I've heard of it.
like
What?
TV.
It's like Netflix or something.
Yeah,
Oh.
Disney.
Uh,
Owned by Walt Disney and Comcast NBC Universal, holding a minority stake.
that's my cable company too. Is Comcast. I've had them for quite some time. I maybe should look into leaving them.
Hulu chief Kelly Campbell. So that's the chief executive, and there's also a Jason Kilar, just like Killer.
Huh.
I break ties with the executives of Hulu, Walt Disney, and Comcast.
Okay, I break all vows, contracts, agreements, oaths, blood oaths, any connection whatsoever to Hulu, Comcast. Uh, anyone else?
Hulu, Comcast, Walt Disney.
Walt Disney, and in any dimension, time stream, in between, parallel, pocket, universe, false reality, quantum space. And I thank thee for it is done, and I know it.
I think that's one of them, Kelly Campbell, right there.
Uh-huh.
I think she's a Pleiadian. She looks like a Pleiadian.
Uh-huh. Now, all Pleiadians aren't bad, right?
The ones that we've been having to deal with are.
The 12D?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Let me see where it goes from here.
Yeah, is there a specific being that is targeting me and attacking me, or is it a group of them, or is it just the cabal, or
I saw a man holding like a black pen. He's got like some kind of black, like kind of goatee thing.
Hmm.
Kind of reminds me of Anton LaVey.
Yeah, it's kind of like what I thought when you said that, with the goatee and the black color. And
You want to break ties with him, Anton LaVey?
okay, I break all vows, contracts, agreements, oaths, blood oaths, any connection whatsoever to Anton LaVey, and he was like a leader of a Church of Satan.
And also any connections to Hollywood.
Any connections to Hollywood, and this group that LaVey is connected to in any dimension, time stream, in between, parallel, pocket, universe, false reality, quantum space. And I thank thee for it is done, and I know it. It isn't wrong for me to write this down, is it, Jess? Like these names that you're giving me?
Nope.
I'm not trying to bring them into my space or anything,
Nope. No, because once we deal with it, then it's gone.
Oh, okay. Did Rodan have any guidance on this situation besides that they tried to take my light? did he give, or can he give us some direction to deal with this further? I mean, I know we're doing it right now, but when he told you that, did he give you any other guidance or information?
Yeah, well, he's guiding me right now, so I'm looking at some more of the staff, trying to see if anyone really. There's a Judy Schwab, who's a part of the human resources.
With what company?
Hulu.
Oh, damn! I get hooked in with this shit. Are they hooking to me or something?
They have Jessica Casano Antonellis, who is the Vice President of Communications of Disney and Hulu. And, there's my name. I'm going to ask to break any and all ties, vows, contracts connected to the executive team of Hulu. And I don't consent if they were using any of my energy for anything nefarious that's harming the planet.
And Comcast and Disney, too. Seems like they're all connected.
Yep.
Whew.
Something is virulent, like a virus. Yeah, we know about a virus. There's a virus of the mind that they're telling me.
What is it doing, or how does it relate to this?
Virulent means deadly.
Yeah.
Also being especially bitter, ardent, hostile. An example of virulent is aggressive and a deadly disease. So this is virulent of the mind. Death to the mind.
They're coming after me with this, or you, or both of us, or
everyone.
Oh.
So let me see. We have to send healing to all of the disease that they have put out there through energy, through frequency, through radio, television,
and also the shot.
Yep. It's almost like it's not even related to the shot, but the shot maybe had been introduced because the mind was getting was dying.
Well, they certainly are pushing it.
Well, let's get back to this virulent illness of the brain, and that the media and everyone, I think that the evil has come in through the information and the systems. So that is what's been poisoning the people that brought them into this lower state of where that they are getting corralled like livestock.
Yeah.
And so somewhere they lost their life force or whatever happened, and let's try to identify that and correct it, and then maybe it will, this is continuing to lead to the ones that we've been in battle with, because obviously they did it very subtly, and you couldn't tell how bad the problem was until everyone became susceptible to the virus and all of these other problems. So I just heard the mass experimenters. And presenting them all before the high courts, I ask that each one and everyone who has been involved with experimenting on humanity be observed critically and intensively to find out exactly what the core root of their evil and why they feel that they need to do this. I ask to disentangle all of humanity from this group that has been somehow gained access to experiment on humans. And I ask to remove their power and ability right now.
And it is done.
I saw a chessboard and an old man there. And I'm looking at this game, this movie. No,
Robert.
this is related to Max von Sydow.
Oh, okay. He was in The Exorcist. He was the priest in The Exorcist.
This is at the Seventh Seal. The Seventh Seal. He returns from the Crusades. It has challenges of death to a chess match for his life. Plays Antonius Block. All right, so there's this chess match that is being done for humanity. So it's like a very dark entity. So here is the picture. Oh. See the guy?
Yeah, that's Max von Sydow.
Max von Sydow's right there.
Yeah.
And there's like the devil right there.
Huh. Yeah, I very seldom watch a movie anymore, so I don't know why. I'm just not interested in watching Hollywood propaganda bullshit.
We both need to break ties with Max von Sydow.
Okay. I break all vows. Okay. Anyone else that I can include in this, or anyone connected to him? I break all vows, contracts, agreements, oaths, blood oaths, any connection whatsoever with Max von Sydow and anyone connected to him in any dimension, time stream, in between, parallel pocket universe, in between, false reality, quantum space, and I thank thee for it is done, and I know it.
He said something about his wife. He became a French citizen in 2002.
Who, Max did?
Yep.
Mm.
Christina Olin and Catherine Brelet.
Mm.
It's almost like he was representing us in some weird way.
Huh.
So I'm going to look up Christina Olin. Catherine Brelet. So other than, let's see, is an actress known for The Couch. She was previously married to Max von Sydow. So she's not really known for anything else. So what was the movie The Couch?
Mm.
It's a horror movie. Has to do with therapy.
Mm.
While undergoing therapy for his problem, a serial killer continues his murderous sprees. So the guy that directed is Blake Edwards. His Experiment in Terror, one of his rare violent thrillers. The same year he wrote with his uncle Owen Crump, The Subject of the Couch, in the script for his written by Robert Bloch, Between Psycho and Straitjacket.
Mm.
Owen Crump was formerly a documentary director in the Army. The Couch is his first movie for cinema. All right, so the information about this Owen Crump. Owen is a guy that harassed me when I went on the moon. No, when I was on Mars.
Oh.
So there's the name Owen and then Blake Edwards. And then, but what I'm thinking is Max von Sydow is opening, like he made this deal. And maybe it wasn't just a movie, but it was a bigger agreement than we had planned. Then for some reason he was representing us.
Mm.
I need to look at his other wife now. So the other wife is Catherine Brelet. She looked pretty much like the first one.
French? Sounds like a
Yep.
French.
The wife, both wives look almost identical.
Mm.
Yeah, and this one's French.
So she's a dark entity?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, they make themselves look good, don't they? So Christine Brelet, I don't really see anything other than she's connected to France. They removed her. Okay. So now I see Max von Sydow sitting on a a like a throne.
Hmm.
I said, "Who are you?" And then I heard the name Ingmar.
Hmm.
So Ingmar.
It sounds like a Swedish or.
That's also the Swedish filmmaker.
Hmm.
He's the same as the Swedish filmmaker. And he also was the one who had something to do with the Seventh Seal.
Hmm.
All right, this is weird. So he actually played the part then. He did a movie called Wild Strawberries.
Never heard of it.
Signifies a hidden gem of a place, often with a personal or sentimental value, and not widely known. That's what we're looking for. So we're looking for a hidden place where they're hiding.
Can Rodan help us with this?
That's what he's doing right now.
Oh, okay, cool.
Showing us. Showing me where to go. I just heard the Beatles song Strawberry Fields Forever.
Yeah.
So they were also very famous too.
Yes.
And it says, let me take you down because I'm going to Strawberry Fields. Nothing is real.
Right.
And nothing to get hung about. Strawberry Fields Forever.
Forever.
Living is easy with eyes closed, misunderstanding all you see. It's getting hard to be someone, but it all works out. It doesn't matter much to me. Let me take you down, and then it does the lyrics again.
Yeah.
No one I think is in my tree. I mean, I must be high or low. That is, you can't, tune in, but it's all right. That it's, I think, is not too bad. Always know sometimes, think it's me, but when it's a dream. I think I know, I mean, yes, but it's all wrong. That is, I think I disagree. So, there's nothing real.
Yeah, those lyrics. I remember when I first heard those. I'm going, what? What does that mean? I was just a kid when that first came out. Teenager.
Yeah, they're saying this is like the Strawberry Fields is, Strawberry Fields also, I think there was a movie, Beatles movie, what was it called?
Magical Mystery Tour.
No.
Well, that was a movie, but I guess that wasn't.
Kind of a movie after, it wasn't with them.
Oh.
So maybe it's,
Help. They had a movie called Help.
Across the Universe.
Oh, that's a song. I don't think it was a movie, but that was one of their later songs, one of their last songs, as a matter of fact, before they broke up.
This is a movie. I remember watching this.
Across the Universe?
Across the Universe.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever watched it?
I don't think so. I didn't know it was a movie. I just know it as a song. I think it was a John Lennon song.
I'll send it to you. Wikipedia page.
Oh, film. Okay.
So it's a jukebox musical. It's kind of a musical, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rock and roll band, the Beatles. The script is based on the original story. And Ian Lafreniere, which sounds like French person.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, the storyline plot. Jude is a shipyard worker in Liverpool, heads to U.S. hoping to find his GI father, whom he has never met. Lucy Carrigan worries about her boyfriend, Daniel, who is
Jude is another Beatles song. Hey Jude.
Yeah. headed to service in the Vietnam War in Dayton, Ohio. Cheerleader Prudence pines for a fellow female cheerleader and then drops out of school in shame. Jude meets his father, a janitor at Princeton University, and befriends. Was it Princeton that just almost had a bomb attack?
I don't know. I didn't hear about it. But Prudence is another one of their songs. Dear Prudence.
Yep.
All these
No,
names.
there's a lot of little, yeah, it's all like Beatles connected.
Mm.
And then he befriends Lucy's brother, Max. And Max introduces Lucy to Jude, who he brings home for Thanksgiving. Max and Jude move into a bohemian enclave in Greenwich Village and run by a singer named Sadie. Daniel.
Sexy Sadie. There's another one. Sexy Sadie. They had a song. Oh, damn.
Did they?
Yeah.
Daniel is killed in Vietnam. In Detroit, a young boy is killed. And his guitarist brother, Jojo.
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 That's another name that comes up in a Paul McCartney song. Damn.
Lucy, because there's Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, right?
Yeah, but Jojo is where. Damn.
Jojo was a man who thought he was a.
Yeah, right. But that wasn't the name of the song, but yeah, that's the lyrics. I can't remember the name of it, but they had so many.
Lucy becomes very involved in anti-war. Jude remains comparatively apolitical, but devoted to Lucy. Sadie offered a chance to go on a solo tour as a headliner. And there's been a breakup between her and Jojo. Jude dislikes the increasing amount of time that Lucy spends with the students. And then there's an anti-war demonstration at Columbia University. It's like during the hippie movement. Max is wounded in Vietnam, sent home psychologically scarred, dependent on morphine. And she discovers that Paco is making bombs. Is there a Paco?
No, I don't know of one. Concerning the Beatles, Jimmy?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I might have missed that one.
So interesting because there's a Max, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Max von Sydow is connected to Ingmar Bergman. So there's something going on from Sweden. And then there's a connection to the Vietnam War, Dayton, Ohio, which is a neighboring state.
Right. And
then the Beatles, Liverpool is a location. Greenwich Village, New York.
And I was in the Army during Vietnam, so.
Oh, and in Detroit, a young boy is killed in 1967 riot. His guitarist brother Jojo goes to New York and auditions for Sadie's band.
Hmm.
They're soon joined by Prudence. Okay. All right, so somehow then you're connected to Jojo. What's the story about Jojo?
I don't know. You mean in the Beatles song?
Yep.
I'm not sure. I still can't.
I sent this to you. I'm not sure.
Oh, Get Back. That's the name of that song. Get back to where you once belong.
I need to know the lyrics.
Sounds like it's based on a Western or something. It talks about getting shot in the back or something. And these songs that you're talking about, Jess, all were after 1966 when the original Paul left.
Oh, interesting. All right, so Jojo was a man who thought he was a loner, but he knew he couldn't last. Jojo left his home in Tucson, Arizona, for some California grass.
Yeah.
Get back to where you once belonged.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet Loretta Martin thought she was a woman, but she was another man. All the girls around her says she's got it coming, but she's got it while she can.
I think that's McCartney too, or the new one, Billy, the current one. I just don't.
Thanks, Bo. I'd like to say thank you on behalf of the group and ourselves, and hope we pass the Oh, what's this?
Yeah, that's what they say after the song. I think it's John Lennon says that.
So there's something here with Arizona and California. Left home for California grass. I mean, that could be interpreted marijuana.
Yeah. Of course, the thing with marijuana is just completely flipped now. It's where it's universally, it seems, accepted and decriminalized, and everybody's doing it. And, you know, not everybody, but seems like everybody.
All right, so I think it's something related to the strawberry fields, and the strawberry fields in the movie looked like, I think that they were shooting at the strawberries, or the strawberries looked like they were like just mushy red.
Huh.
And some of us, me and some other people, have been seeing like a river or like pieces of guts.
Ugh.
So it looks like the strawberries, I guess, in a weird way.
Same color.
And I saw like a river of that, of like just strewn guts.
Damn.
So I think this is what they wanted to do to us. So I'm going to go through this space and take a look. All right, so there was something in this system that we just looked at, all those names and everything. Max Sido, Ingmar Bergman, the Strawberry Fields, which is probably related to war or something. And it looked like it was encased in a pyramid. And I asked to have it removed. I want you to ask to have yourself extracted from any of these realities. And
okay, I asked that I be removed from any of these realities, any and all of these realities that we've been speaking about, in any dimension, time stream, in between, parallel pocket universe, in between, false reality and quantum space. And I thank thee for it is done, and I know it.
It's a Pleiadian reality. Break ties with the Pleiadians related to this Strawberry Fields reality.
Break all vows, contracts, agreements, oaths, split oaths, any connection whatsoever to the Pleiadians concerning this false reality, and in any dimension, time stream, in between, parallel pocket universe, false reality, quantum space. And I thank thee for it is done, and I know it.
Zoroaster.
Again.
I got him.
And he's a pain in the ass. He's been around a long ass time, hasn't he?
Yep. Remember I told you about the poison that came in and how they were attacking the minds of humanity. So that word that I used earlier, that was, do you know what I'm talking about?
No. You don't want to use it again?
Oh, I can't remember it now, because I kind of went into that weird space of meditating that, you know, or seeing things that it wipes my memory.
Oh. Well, I don't know.
What talking about, there was this it's a poison that was getting into the minds of people through the media, and we started looking at the media, and then it came back to this whole Beatles and system that they were using, because there is an alternate reality of the Beatles that someone brought in, and I think it see if I can pull that up and show you.
Well, they were definitely weaponized against humanity. I can see that, no doubt about it. They were mind controlled. before they became a group, before they became famous. Tavistock Institute. You ever heard of that?
Yep.
Yeah, they were involved with that. I think that's where they got their mind control from.
God claims an alternate universe. The Beatles never broke up in the tour until the modern day. It's called bullshit, but he posts an entire Beatles album as proof. Decide for yourself. And the music sounds really weird. I don't know if you ever listened to it.
What is it? What is the album?
Beatles in the alternate reality.
Oh.
I'm going to put in videos.
So that means John Lennon was not killed, and the original Paul was not killed, or
it's like a whole other reality where they existed.
And they survived. Oh.
Yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, I mean, I'd like to just send this whole thing to you. This is really and it's like I wasn't able to fully get through this. For some reason, I try to bring it up in the Andronetalks transmissions discussions. I'm going to try to do a shared screen.
You haven't done any recent ones? Transmissions?
I could. I have some information, but it's not quite ready yet.
But, I mean, you haven't done any of those in a while, have you?
No.
Like current.
Yeah, look at this. Richards managed to pocket one of the tapes while Jonas was, let me see if I can get the whole story. James Richards, a pseudonym the man created to protect his identity, claims that in September 9th, 2009, you had got 999, right?
Yeah.
Came into the possession of a cassette tape of a Beatles album that was never released. In fact, not only was it never released, Richards had said on his site, but it was recorded many years after they broke up.
Huh.
Richards said that he was in Del Puerto Canyon chasing his dog when he tripped and fell unconscious. When he woke up, he found that he and his dog had been transported to a parallel Earth by the name of Jonas.
Man named Jonas.
Jonas, from an Earth where traveling to parallel universes is commonplace. Notice Richards was unconscious, and since there was no one or no place available to help him, Jonas took Richards and his dog with him to his Earth.
Huh.
Jonas from an Earth where traveling to parallel universes is commonplace. All right, found him unconscious. All right, let me just finish this. Richardson goes on to say that he and Jonas talked about many similarities and differences between our worlds. The subject of the Beatles came up when Jonas mentioned his brother had attended a recent concert of theirs, all four original members still alive and together on the Earth. When Richardson explains that only two members were alive in our universe, Jonas showed him a room where he stored his Beatles collection. And they called it everyday chemistry. Not weird?
Is this the original Paul, or? Because of course, you know, the original.
That's supposed to be Ringo, right? Ringo.
That looks like
it looks like the original Paul, doesn't it?
Well, I have a hard time telling the difference between Paul's pre-66 when he's.
And look at how they're almost look-alike here. They put them together.
Yeah, that's John. That's John and George together, and Ringo.
Yeah,
and
isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Said that the cassette tapes they had those titles four titles he could not recognize. When he asked Jonas if he could have a copy of one of them tapes, Richards was told for his own safety that he could not take any kind of souvenirs back from that dimension. Richards managed to pocket one of the tapes while Jonas was distracted and was later transported back to our Earth with his dog and his stolen souvenir, which was supposedly this tape.
Huh.
Called Everyday Chemistry. The album obtained Everyday Chemistry in reality. It's a mashup of all 4 Beatles solo material over the years. For example, the first track, 4 Guys, contains elements of George Harris's When We Was Fab, John Lennon and Yoko Ono's I'm Moving On, and Paul McCartney. Album obtained Everyday Chemistry was transferred to this website.
But it was in an alternate reality.
You seem to be in a...
They were just like 4 boys. They really liked them. They were good. They were great guys. It didn't really hit me. And then these kids standing there singing, and I don't know what they did. They just changed it. And then one thing was singing, they're just so much better. Guys. And they were saying, they just like a mess for you is what they...
You see that? That's Shea Stadium.
Yeah.
This is Shaw.
Huh. Yeah, that was their first appearance in the United States, I think.
It almost sounds like they did some kind of weird mix.
Yeah.
And I think that was Band on the Run, and then this one, let's see.
That was after Paul left.
That was what?
That was when Paul was solo. He did that. Band on the Run. With Wings.
But like they did some kind of like really weird... Just Strawberry Fields.
Like a mashup.
Yep.
But different together.
Like what?
They like a mashup. They put different songs together. You know, like not one song that they did, but multiple. And Ringo being the only original member left is kind of strange too.
Yeah.
Well, that's Paul's voice, but it might be Billy, though. You know, it all comes down to pre-66 to after that, it was the fall Paul. It was in fact, it was November, right about now in November when he supposedly had that accident of 66. And that was well before they broke up. But it was when they stopped touring that year. They made albums after that, but they didn't tour. Is that
one of their albums, Across the Universe?
I've never seen that one before. That must be in the alternate dimension or space or reality.
Do you recognize that?
No. These are new to me.
I want you to listen to all of these, okay? So I put those in there for you to listen to.
It certainly sounds like the Beatles, for sure. But nothing they ever came out with in this reality.
I mean
some of the parts of it, you know, were like some of their past songs, but the rest of it sounds like new stuff that's unheard.
All this is a mashup of different songs, and that's all anybody with good music skills can put it together. This guy knows how to cross dimension parallel worlds and still listening to the cassette again. Oh, come on, guys. You've got to admit the guy had done a great job at mixing this up.
That sounds like mostly new stuff, though. Or, I mean, not new, but new to us. Because it wasn't on any of their releases except for just little parts of it that they released, you know, in this time frame or time stream that we're in right now. You know, that you can go put on your record player and listen to.
They're all saying it's just a mashup, but there's something weird. I mean, if some of these were former tracks, like some of the other ones, like in the end,
yeah,
it was like a whole different song that I've never heard before. So, is it possible that that if they actually had that song somewhere, if they had any tracks at all, they would have released them, don't you think?
Yeah. As much money as that group made.
Especially since they lost a lot to the Jackson family.
Yeah, well, Jackson bought their catalog, but I thought I heard that McCartney bought it back or something. But you certainly see a lot of Beatles stuff in commercials now, whereas before you never did. Like they didn't want their stuff being used in commercials.
Someone said you have to remember in this time we made deals with aliens. If we didn't, we would still be listening to cassette tapes.
Huh.
But showing that in that other reality, they had that.
I do still listen to cassette tapes. Now that I have a cassette player, I've been playing, not recently, but I've been listening to my old cassettes that I made back in the 70s and 80s. I used to do that a lot, to take my records and take songs off of the records and put them on cassette so I didn't have to play the record. It was a lot easier.
Gives me hope, though. Perhaps in that universe, I didn't get drunk that one horrible night and cause my ex to leave, thus splitting up my family. A man can dream. Saying it's a vivid imagination. Then why are you typing something in here? Because they're uneasy about it.
What's the deal with Clover?
Cloverfield?
Clover Park?
Clover Park?
That
Maybe this is related to it.
Oh yeah, that session we did that still hasn't been released.
Yep, and I don't know why it hasn't been released. The
time hasn't been right, I guess, but
so you have this. What your homework is to take a look at that for me. Is to take a look at, listen to that music and tell me what you think, because I know that you know the music really well.
Yes, the Beatles were just like most people that are music fans, that grew up in that era. I mean, you came into the world right about the same time they did. So you wouldn't remember that when their first introduction to the world on Ed Sullivan and all that stuff. That was the year you were born. So it was happening with you here on Earth, but you weren't aware of it.
Right.
But I was a young kid, and I wasn't really into the Beatles when they first were introduced, because it just seemed like the young girls, and you played some of that too, of the young girls being interviewed or screaming and going nuts and shit.
Hysterical, yeah.
Yeah, and I took that as like, that was like the young girls didn't see me. All they could see was the Beatles and Paul and all that shit. So I kind of like was anti-Beatles there for a while. I Want to Hold Your Hand days and and all that. They used to sing a lot about love and love me do, and not that I didn't like some of the songs. It's just I had this bias against it, because I was just this young boy, wanting attention from girls, but it seemed like they didn't have any time for me. All they could think about was Paul McCartney or the Beatles, their favorite Beatle, and most of them it was Paul, and so I never did like him because of that. I'm not saying never. I mean, I like him. He's okay, but
yeah.
But since then, I've acquired he's all right, but I always had a bias against him because of that, because of my first introduction to the Beatles, and how big they were, like the New Kids on the Block, and the way when that shit hits, man, it's like it's all you see, and it's everywhere, and I didn't understand that.
look or resemble or act anything like those stars, then you've got it made. And if you don't,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's my history with the Beatles, and then it seemed like right before and right and after the original Paul left is when I started getting more into the Beatles. It was right around that time, Rubber Soul and some of the stuff they put out, Norwegian Wood, and that kind of grabbed me, and it was different than that original love.
Okay, that's interesting. So we have Strawberry Fields, and then the Max von Sydow and Ingmar Bergman has Strawberries. And then you said Norwegian Wood, which they're Scandinavian.
Oh yeah, well
And I
that was
thought that was kind of a weird song because why would he call, they're British, but why is he singing about the Norwegian Wood?
yeah, I know. Just the song. I mean, that's one of the first songs I heard by them that I started to change my view of them. And then I didn't know about the original Paul leaving in '66, but after that is when they put out the more rock stuff, and the Abbey Road and the Magical Mystery Tour, and all of that stuff came out after the original Paul left.
Yeah,
So
when they started to really open up.
yeah, and they started getting into acid and smoking weed, and grew their hair long, and just the music. If you look at the music before that and after that, it's almost like two different bands. And really, now that I see it was a different Paul. So, and according to what I've learned, when this fake Paul came in after the original one left, so they could keep the band together, he told them that he had to have all the control of the band at that time. He controlled, how they worked and the stuff they put out, and it was like it was almost like blackmail that he would expose them if they didn't let him have this control. And then all this stuff about the wars with Paul, they put that in the words or into the lyrics and stuff. It's like it was the other three against Paul. Is a lot of the stuff that came up right between '66 and '70 when they broke up. And Paul was the first one to leave, but I saw an interview with him where he said that John told him that he wasn't going to continue with the Beatles, and that's why he left. That's Paul's story, or the fake Paul.
Well, I'm looking at Norwegian Wood, and it's about meeting a girl, and supposedly he liked her place. They were drinking wine, and then she said she had to go to work the next morning, and then he's there by himself. He woke up and he was alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was John that wrote that one.
Yeah.
It came out as Lennon McCartney. All of the songs they wrote individually came out as both of them. They had that agreement too. But you can tell the ones that are Paul's and the ones that are John's, usually they sing their own. So whoever's singing is the one who actually wrote that particular song. Even though it's, the credits are Lennon McCartney. They agreed to make that the way they handled their business, where they both got credit for writing credit for every song, even though they didn't write them together. A lot of them, individual written, and then just both of them got credit as a team. and George was left out of a lot of that too. They hardly ever gave him a song or two maybe on an album.
Same thing with Ringo, though.
Yeah, Ringo didn't write that many, though. A lot of the songs he did, George wrote for him, or he wrote very little. So, he didn't get credit because he wasn't a writer.
I feel like I just haven't got any full resolve on this yet. I mean, it's something that I talked about years ago, but it feels like now we're looking at something related to Max von Sydow, and it leads me right back to the Beatles. And this deal that he made with the devil in the movie The Seventh Seal, And is it Seventh Seal? I keep on forgetting the name of the movie. I think they want me to forget it. And pretty much this deal that he makes with the devil, or somebody that we would, call the devil, because his life is at risk, but yet it feels like it's connected to us. He was in Flash Gordon too. I didn't know that. He was in Dune, the original Dune. Hannah and Her Sisters, Minority Report, Shutter Island, which was another scary one. Robin Hood. So he was in Star Wars.
Exorcist.
He was in The Exorcist. The Seventh Seal. So I was right. It is the Seventh Seal. And this was, it's literally has a chess game on the front of it. And it's a man, but if you look at the man that's like the devil, he sort of looks like, he reminds me of something from Dune.
Yeah, that did look familiar to me too.
Considered a classic of world cinema, as well as one of the greatest movies of all time.
What, Dune?
No, the Seventh Seal.
Oh.
So this guy, Antonius Block, and his cynical squire, Johns. It could be Jonas. And there's Jonas in Beatles. There's a Jonas that's in the Beatles. No, it's Jonas in the alternate reality. The guy meets a Jonas, right?
I never I never heard the name Jonas come up in this reality's Beatles.
No, but Jonas is supposedly the guy that was from the alternate reality that
okay. Right.
So Jones returns from the Crusades to find the country ravaged by the plague. The knight encounters Death, whom he challenges to a chess match. So it's the same entities that are related to the plague, the bubonic plague, the pandemic, occurring in Afro-Eurasia. His most fatal pandemic recorded in human history caused the deaths of 75 to 200 million people in Eurasia and North Africa, peaking in Europe in 1347. Black Death. So the knight and his squire pass a caravan of actors, Joff and wife Mia, with their infant son Michael, actor-manager Jonas. There's the name Jonas again. And they look at the fresco of Dance Macabre, which is connected to Edgar Allan Poe.
Right.
Upon revealing to him, Block and Jonas visit the church where a fresco of Dance Macabre is being painted, and the squire chides the artist for colluding in the ideological fervor that led to the crusade. In the confessional, Block tells his priest he wants to perform one meaningful deed after what he sees as a pointless life. Upon revealing to him that the chess tactic that will save his life, the knight discovers that it is actually Death, with whom he has been speaking. Leaving the church, Block speaks to a young woman condemned to be burned at the stake for consorting with the devil. He believes she will tell him about life beyond death, only to find out that she is insane. I mean, it's like he goes through all these processes and then he returns to this game, this chess game. And I don't think it ends very well. Like everyone dies. They're led away, like in other words, they didn't make it.
Kind of like what they're trying to do now.
Yeah, pretty much. They're offering us the chess game, and if you're going to challenge us, that here's the game, but they already have it set up that we lose. But they wanted to prove to us in our minds that we actually lost. So they convince us through the game that we've lost, and then it gratifies then we are in agreement with them that we'd lost and that we're going to be condemned.
And they're the winners, and we're fucked.
Yeah.
And they want us to understand that and accept it.
Accept it, yes. Because once we consent to that, once we agree that we have lost, that we don't have any value, then we are allowing that reality to go further.
Right. And allowing them to come out on top.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not doing that. Nope. I'm not. And I know you're not.
No. No, or otherwise we wouldn't be doing this work right now that we're doing.
We're here to fight that shit. Resist that.
So we have to know who we're fighting. That's the challenge. And who is this demon, this death that he calls it, that feels it has a right to take all of these people. And what did they say his name was? He is this guy, Nils Banked Folk Eckerot, was the one who plays Death.
Oh. Never heard of him.
Connected to Eugene, was in a show called related to Eugene O'Neill, which I studied that one too. He's from Stockholm. The magician. He was also in My Life in Film, that where two men agreed that Death should wear a clown mask and a white clown's mask, a fusion of a clown mask and a skull.
Huh.
A man with a self-destructive personality health issues from smoking and excessive drinking affected Eckerot's later career, and he died of lung cancer. But I think this is interesting that he was supposed to have worn a clown mask, or at least white clown mask and a skull. So everyone's horrified of clowns. There's something weird with the clowns.
Yeah.
Peter told me about the Covaderos, and they sort of look like cats, but also look like clowns, white faces. I don't know what the deal is with that either. Those are the ones that are spreading the... All right, I'm going to ask to remove any and all entities according to what we were looking at in all time, space, reality, and from whatever reality they came from, dimension, galaxy, or universe, metaverse.
Dimension, right?
Yeah. Parallel. Something's moving out. I think they pulled someone out.
Good riddance.
Just saw a ladder.
The one going to heaven?
I don't know what it was. It was a ladder that enabled dark energies to get into another dimension they didn't belong.
Oh.
Seen a bunch of reptilians.
What are they doing?
I don't know. This entity might have brought them in. I think they're resetting whatever the parallels were.
We disrupted it?
Yeah.
Good. Don't allow them to reset it.
There's women that are dressed up with, it looks like almost like a chandelier on their heads. It's like all sorts of crystals. So maybe he's connected to this Max von Sydow. He is. Okay. I just got a confirmation on that.
Who is?
Biden.
Oh.
So this is the devil or death from that movie.
So we need to disconnect from him too. Or, yeah.
And that guy that I said was that played Death. Eckert. Nils Banked Folk Eckerot.
Eckerot. Yeah, I break all vows, contracts, agreements, oaths, blood oaths, any connection whatsoever to Nils von Eckerot and Joe Biden. And anyone connected to, or any groups or energies connected to them in any dimension, time stream, in between, parallel, pocket, universe, quantum space, false reality. And I thank thee for it's done, and I know it. Is anything coming after me right now, Jeff, that you can see for doing that?
Nope.
You know, they like to.
I did see another group of, I don't know if they were Vikings or, but it's almost like they came from another lineage, but not from Rodan, like from some other being. And they kind of slipped into our reality. Maybe they've helped create the Nordics.
Who are connected to the Nazis.
So yeah, so I'm gonna ask to see who they are. They're pulling them out. They didn't belong here. It's like a rogue group.
Oh. Maybe it's the Nordics. They're a rogue group, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they're breaking a system right now. Something in Cascadia. I think that's isn't that California?
I'm not sure. Sounds like it. But I don't have any contact that I remember of that.
It looks like it's California. California and then north into Canada. Yeah, it goes all the way up from starts with California, goes up through Seattle.
Vancouver.
1861. Yeah, through Vancouver region. I'm going to ask what they want to reveal regarding this.
That's where Jimmy's from too.
Jimi,
Hendrix.
really?
Yeah, he's from Seattle. That's where he was born. That's where his grave is.
They pulled that whole area out and they used it in another reality, all of Cascadia. And then I'm going to ask what the hell happened to the whole West Coast. They have to restore it.
It's been a hotbed for darkness.
Yep.
You got Disneyland right there, and underground bases, dumbs.
It's not just that, the people are he's set on trying to destroy it for some reason.
Yeah.
They want to burn it down. They want to just tear it apart.
And it's
They
a
want all
major.
people to live. They encourage the people to live in the streets.
Yes, and it's a major population area too
Yep.
in the country. Damn.
I think we're getting close to 66 rebels.
What's
They've
that?
extracted them. I don't know who they are from the Cascadia area. They found whatever they needed to find. It looks like something very red. There's all the blood. Oh, so this group, there's about 66 of them. They were involved with destroying this people in this other reality, this parallel, killing millions of people, and that's all the blood and guts that I was seeing.
Is that what Cascadia is? California, you said?
Yep, California all the way up through Seattle, Washington, up to Vancouver. I don't know how far up. I don't think it goes up to Alaska.
That whole area, it's multiple states?
Yeah.
And Canada too?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Nothing. There was they killed it. There's 66 rebels that somehow conspired to do a mass murder in this other parallel. And that was then became a bleed through for our reality. And they found all 66 of them. They were all huddled together somewhere.
This happened just now?
Yeah.
Wow. So they were hidden. They needed to be found and discovered and dealt with.
Yep. They're not going to say exactly where they found them, but we don't have to worry about them anymore. All right. Close the door.
Recognize these individuals?
No, I could just see them. They look like dark shadows.
Oh, but I mean, in our reality, would we recognize their names, or were they incarnated here, or?
I'm sure that they've moved through many of the different bodies and took on different personas.
Oh.
2 more gates. All those gates, those 7 gates, they're all closed now. That Max von Sydow opened up, and Ingmar Bergman and everyone else that was involved in that.
Mm.
And that Nils.
Yeah, that long name Nils dude. Was Jimmy at all involved in this, Jess?
Maybe he got killed in the other reality. There was a bunch of musicians that died that were, I mean, really well-known musicians
Mm-hmm.
that died from that area.
Yeah.
And it could be because of it.
Kurt Cobain too.
Yeah. I mean, yes, so you could say, well, they did drugs and blah, 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 but they did have very strange deaths. And I don't know if Jim Morrison was connected to that at all. I don't know. There was a bunch of them that were.
Yeah,
Because that was maybe that was part of this whole like Clover Park thing too.
Yeah, I think Morrison's from California originally.
Yeah. I mean that includes all the people. It wasn't just musicians, but everyone got affected. Probably anyone that was a decent politician, you know, or anyone that had any type of morals or whatever. Yeah, it looks like they were all affected. And what they did, I think, is inserted this bullshit leadership into that whole area. But seeing the river of blood is gone now. The river of blood and guts.
Transmuted?
Just sort of disappeared. They undid it. They pulled those 66 beings.
Yes. Rebels.
I heard Hydra. So I don't know if Hydra is like in some of these movies, like a corporation of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's also related to some kind of off-world.
Yeah, there's a being, a nasty-looking being that is what a Hydra is, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Rodan said that we're finished with what we needed to do today.
Can you give some guidance on how to proceed from here? Anything I should be aware of or be on the lookout for or cautious of?
You said don't give away your power. Stop giving away your power.
Okay, I'm coming into my power, Jess. I'm learning more and more about it and understanding it better and accepting it. It's still in the early stages of it, but I'm working on that. I'm becoming more confident in my power and
more protective of it.
Yes, I don't want to give anyone my power. No one. I'm keeping it myself.
We're gonna send healing to Cascadia and anyone that is in the western U.S., Canada,
northwest area
mm-hmm.
of the continent.
Yeah.
All right. In all of the bodies in any dimension, time stream, in between parallel pocket university, false reality, and quantum space. And I thank thee for it is done, and I know it. Healed.
I just heard Woonsocket, and that's Woonsocket, Rhode Island.
What about it?
I don't know. I'm wondering if this is related to Edgar Allan Poe.
That's a crazy name, Woonsocket. Is that a Native American name or something?
Yeah. The American tribes of Nipmuc, Wampanoag, and the Narragansett.
That was an Indian tribe, Woonsocket?
Yeah, there's 3 of them.
Oh.
One called the Nipmuc, Nipmuc, or Cowaset, and Wampanoag is another one, and Narragansett.
Wow.
Trying to see the it's near Providence.
Well, I mean, Rhode Island's so small, everything's near everything. That's the smallest state we have, isn't it?
There's Pawtucket, East Providence. And there's Brown University, so it's right. Those pub was down that area. I think we broke through something. There was some kind of block. Closing a book. It's finished.
What, that was connected to what we were dealing with?
I think that whatever was happening in Cascadia was affecting Rhode Island somehow.
Oh,
So there might have been something there, but I think they just closed the book, so we fixed something.
cool.
That was important. We'll see if I see any more of that river of blood, because I think they're the ones that had something to do with it.
So Rodan wanted us to take care of this today, huh?
Yeah, so it was a group of 66, and there's a highway that goes up through California. I think it's Route 66.
Yeah.
So they've been here for a while, for a long time, apparently.
But they're gone now.
They were in charge. Yep.
Wow. Well, we don't need anyone in charge of us.
Nope. No, we don't.
We can handle it. We don't need controllers or bosses or authorities. We have our own authority.
Right.